Each of us at school had many teachers in different subjects. Some we liked and some not. But in this video, I will show you some teachers who will definitely leave no one indifferent. 10 teachers whose existence is hard to believe. If you go to Nicholas Ferroni's Instagram account, you might think that he is a fitness coach, athlete, or model. But in fact, he is a school teacher, and he doesn't teach physical education, but history. He has been working as a teacher for 14 years at a school in New Jersey, the USA. He loves his work so much that after the exam, he made a tattoo with the names of all the students who received the highest score in his subject. In addition to teaching, Nicholas Ferroni does different social activities and is often invited on television shows. American magazine People recognized Ferroni as America's most attractive teacher. Put a like if you also want to have such a history teacher. Leon Yeon. She is officially recognized as the most beautiful teacher in Korea. The girl looks 20 years old, but in fact, this year she turned 32 years old. And it's hard to believe, as well as the fact that she is an ordinary school teacher. Before Lee started working at the school, she wanted to become a model and attended special courses. As a result, she realized that her real vocation was to be a teacher. Her specialty is mathematics. Students adore her lessons and admit that Lee Yeon is not a strict teacher, and after the lesson they often take a selfie with her. By the way, under this video we'll arrange a small vote. Write which subject was the most favorite in your school, or is if you are still studying. Let's see what's the most popular. Write in the comments. In order to make lessons interesting, many teachers use the creative approach. This is Debbie Herkins, a teacher from Holland. She is a biology teacher. Biology isn't most people's favorite subject. In order to make the students more interested, Debbie puts on costumes on which you could examine the internal organs, muscles, and skeletons of a person. And during the lesson, she stood on the table so that everyone could see clearly. Brittany Dallas. She works in one of the schools in California. She was famous not because of her appearance, but because of her great, kind heart. In May 2016, she attended one of the teachers' conferences where the topic of suicides among children and adolescents was discussed. Brittany was so touched by this topic that after the conference, she wrote a handwritten letter to each of her 100 students. In each letter, she listed the good sides and worth of each of them. Thus, she showed that in each of her students there is something unique and good. This act moved not only the students, but there were millions of users in social networks who shared this story. Michael Bonner. He works as a primary school teacher in North Carolina. Most of his students are children from low-income and disadvantaged families. Michael helps them forget about their problems when they are in school. Every day, he shoots a funny musical video with the children. Michael was even invited to the TV show Ellen DeGeneres and presented a check for $25,000 to buy new equipment for the class to record music videos. After graduation, everyone has a yearbook album with photos of all their classmates and teachers. A similar tradition exists in many countries of the world. American physical education teacher Dale Kirby began teaching in 1973. After the first year of work, he was photographed for the album in a brown sweater vest and light-colored shirt. When he was photographed for the next year, he accidentally put on the same clothes. When I noticed, I was so embarrassed, admits Dale. In the end, the teacher decided to turn it into a good joke. He worked at the school for 40 years and was photographed every year for the album in the same clothes. With this sense of humor, he was a favorite teacher for many students. Many teachers continue to work even in old age, but the record belongs to a mathematics teacher from New York. She is 100 years old and she still teaches. She began teaching in 1954 in the same school where she had studied. Despite the age, Madeline does not plan to retire, although her own children have already become pensioners. Tom Winter is a history teacher from the University of England. He would be an ordinary teacher if not for his way of getting around. At his 68 years old, he comes to work every day on a skateboard. Tom admits that it's incredibly boring just to walk. That's why he chooses a skateboard. Jen Scally is a regular physical education teacher from Colorado. A few years ago, one of her students became seriously ill. He needed a kidney transplant. The first one who responded was Jen. She became a donor, and thanks to her, he is alive. Some teachers are capable of real feats for the sake of students. Sonia Romero, a junior high school teacher from the United States, adopted 2 of her students after they were left without parents. She believes that being a teacher is much more than just giving children some information. You need to take care of them. There are many photos of creative teachers on the net. For example, this teacher of chemistry. He decided to argue against chemistry being one of the most boring subjects in school and organized a real show. Another teacher decided that it was best to talk about astronomy in a Darth Vader costume. And these teachers decided to have creative and fun photographs for the school yearbook. It happens that students fall asleep in your lesson. You can certainly wake them up, but it's better to take a cool photo with them first. This is exactly what this teacher did. Well, this teacher was unhappy that his lesson began very early. In protest, he began to go to work in his pajamas. Thanks for watching, everyone. Write in the comments if you had unusual teachers at school.